Welcome everybody to another Kathie Chat. Today, my special guest is one of the funniest, sweetest, kindest, most talented people I've met. Leslie Anne Barrett is the makeup artist at CTV Ottawa, which is where I first met Leslie Anne. And she's also, multi-talented. She's been an actor, I don't know, like a magician in some manner. She's a mom, she's a daughter, she's a busy going concern. And also Leslie Ann not too long ago launched a makeup line. So we wanted to talk a little bit about everything, because I'm asking people where they were when the world pressed pause. What was going on in your world when that happened?
Well, thanks. Hi, Kathie. It's so nice to see you. I don't know what happens to you. You must dip yourself in formaldehyde. Every time I see you, you're more and more glowing.
I'm wearing your makeup, that's why.
I think it's something coming when they say, when our grandmothers used to say that beauty came from within. You're a shining example of that.
Aww.
Absolutely.
Thank
Proof
you.
is putting, my dear. Okay, in answer to your question, where was I? I had just come back from visiting with my parents in Hilton Head Island in South Carolina. It was March 6th. And as you know, the Americans were gearing up for their election. And there was some talk of this whole pandemic, but mostly it was about the American presidency and the candidacy. We from both my parents are scientists, so we had discussed it, and we were preparing for me to go to the airport. So they loaded me up with a flask, an antique flask filled with tequila, because we didn't have any hand sanitizer. So, so I got through customs at Savannah Airport, and there's, what is this? I said, it's a flask. So what's it filled with? I said, liquid. And they said, what kind of liquid? I said, tequila. They said, well, your two choices are you can either come over here and drink it all or throw it out. So in front of all the border security people, I dumped it. And anyway, made it through LaGuardia, sat away from everybody, cleaned all the surfaces I could with whatever I could find, and then came back to a very different world. Mm-hmm. It has been for all of us, something a bit dystopian.
Yes, good way to describe it. It feels dystopian. This feels like every day I wake up and I ask myself, is this really happening? Are we really here now? All of these imaginary stories we've heard over time have now just become reality. So, I know that everybody's being impacted in some manner. And I know that, you are kind of an essential service in some way, because you work at CTV and you're part of the team that keeps the news going. So how has that been going for you? And what does your life look like right now? Because I know you're one of the busiest people, in the world we just left behind. You were one of the busiest people I knew. You had appointments for makeup and consults and styling and weddings and all kinds of things going all the time. And most of that probably is on hold.
Yeah, pretty much gone. Gone. At CTV, I'm directing makeup and hair, so I have to maintaining the 2-meter distance. Basically, my job means I go in there and clean everything, which is not unlike what I did every day anyway. It's part of this industry, to the cleanliness and all that sort of thing. The raw hand washing, it's part of the day-to-day, but now it's even more so. So I can basically say, oh, take a little bit more brown over there. Yeah, maybe let's look at some root spray here, that sort of thing. And I may see 2 or 3 people in a day rather than 10 or 14. And walking through the market in the Barwood Market in Ottawa is dicey on the best of days. Now it's really zigzagging across the streets, making it to your car, taking off your gloves, throwing them, putting on a new pair, and trying to live in thankfulness as much as I can, because there are people out there on the street who I really don't. I mean, I'm trying to be positive, but it's where really we should be sending our hopes and prayers.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of truth in this, and I've been saying to everybody, you know, we are all unsure, we are all uncomfortable, and we are all afraid. And in some manner, we are all vulnerable, some more than others. You make a very good point. And you know, we have to right now be filled with empathy and compassion and do what we can, however we can, to help our most vulnerable. This is the message we can't drive home enough. If you can support, support in any way you can, do something. That's what we all need to be doing, for sure, 100%. So that sounds like a strange way to do your job, as you're used to. And you, again, you have a standard of excellence, Leslie Anne. And I know when somebody else is doing the job that you normally do, it must be challenging. I mean, I'm sure they're doing a great job. Everybody looks wonderful when I see them on the news, but I'm sure it's challenging for you to be, you know, kind of holding back. But good on you. Just, you know, we got to do what we've got to do and keep going. And how are things at CTV? How's the team doing? How are those people? Because they're there every day on the front lines, taking care of us, making sure we're informed.
And you know, that's a really good point. And they, you know, you as a journalist, you possess some kind of trait of this black humor, which basically keeps you going, because you have seen the toughest sides of things. And you know, these people are they're in it every day, and they always have to have a way to make jokes. And that was a big part of and still is a big part of my life in this particular arena, which is the only arena I'm in professionally now, is to share that and to have some of those moments of levity, as well as you had mentioned prior, super compassion and living in thankfulness, really, because we're very lucky.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yep. I mean,
but more than like letting go of excellence, because I like working with people like you and the team at CTV and all of the other people that I know, because you are excellent, because you bring your A game every day. Nobody just phones it in, except for today on Zoom, which took me an hour and a half to figure out.
You see, there's the humor. You see, this is how we do it right here. I love that. Yeah.
It's the scary part. But the hardest part is not going, oh man, I think I could have made her or him look that much better. His tie is a little puffy, but that's okay because I can't touch it. I could just tell him. It's really that I can't actually physically touch you. Yeah. And for me, for all of us, except if we're lucky enough to have a family, a loved one close to us, for people who live alone, and for people like me who had the absolute privilege of physically touching people every single day and feeling their energy, and having you share with me your life, your dogs, your cats, your friends, your nephews and nieces, your parents. It's just, this is what I miss, is touching you. So that's the hard part. The hard part.
It's true, though. We are, you know, it doesn't matter what our personality style is, we're all built for connection of some kind, right? And when we don't have that connection, when it's literally just taken away from us overnight, suddenly we become acutely aware of how important it is to touch a person, to feel connected to people, to just talk. We get filled up every day on the daily, and we're not really aware of it until we don't have it. So it could be that this time, as difficult as it is for all of us, is a time of that deep appreciation for the people whose lives touch us every day. And also an opportunity, I feel, on the flip side, for people to set boundaries in their life around the relationships that they may not feel so comfortable in, you know, where they're not being filled up. And, you know, when you come out the other side of this, you have that like empowered feeling that this is how I want to go forward, because really we only want to keep what works for us. We don't need all the everything. We need just what works for us. So it's work right now, because that's what we're being invited to do, is look inside, you know, focus on that deep appreciation you mentioned a few times, and then to make sure that we're really living the life that we choose to live and how we choose to live it.
Well, that's another bon mot from you, Kathie.
Well, you know
It-
what? It's been something that's shown up for me, and it's been showing up for me for a while. But in this particular time, I'm realizing we've been invited to go inside during this pause. And we've been invited to take a look at and inventory, do inventory, not only on our cupboard, but also on our lives and how we're feeling about what's going on and what we can do. Actually, in some cases, there's not much we can do, but in where we can, um, make sure that we're getting our needs met in some way. Now, the other thing that you did, gee, what month is this? April. Okay, not too long ago, you launched a gorgeous product line, skincare, makeup, that I am loving, obviously. And you found the perfect shade of lipstick that I just love, and the right shade of foundation, and it's light and you don't need much. I love the serum, I love the cream, I'm loving it all. So I wanted to just talk to you a little bit about that today because you know our friend Elaine Charon from Shepherds. Well,
yes.
Elaine on Instagram the other day did a couple of stories because we did a Zoom call. And in her stories, she showed herself before she put her makeup on and did her hair. And now for Elaine, that's something, you know, she's a model. So I was celebrating that. And I thought, oh, good for you. That's so wonderful to be so vulnerable and real and authentic. And then I had an email from somebody who saw it saying, I just loved what Elaine did and I'm looking for makeup tips. And I wanted to ask her about that. And I thought, you see what happens when we, you know, just tell the truth. Everybody wants to know how do we do it. So like right now, do you have some ideas for us? Is there something we can talk about with respect to your makeup line to help people just feel better while they're at home doing whatever they're doing?
Yeah, Kathie, I guess to speak to your point of having to have a pause and having to clean out our cupboards, literally, figuratively, and spiritually, you know, another thing that we have to do is take a look at ourselves in the mirror because we're being forced to. You know, not to get too deep, but then again, you know, I am a Pisces, so I'm going to swim pretty deep and I'm a big fish. So, you know, I literally ran around like a chicken. People would always say, "When are you going to stop? When are you going to stop?" You know, I had this nickname of LA Express, right? Always running from pillar to post, and a lot of the time, I'm a workaholic. Yeah, so this is a big thing, which is like, I'm having a bad day, go to work. If I'm having a bad day, I'm going to work because I love it, right?
Mhm.
I literally was at a red light in my little red car and got hit by a truck. Yeah.
What?
Hit by a truck on family day, moved into the intersection, a very busy intersection. Luckily, it was family day, so it wasn't that busy. And jumped out and said, "Hey, what were you thinking?" And then realized I was in the middle of the intersection and I could die. Got in my car, realized it could still go moved it back into safety. Policemen came, friends came, blah, blah, blah. Drove me home. A couple days later, I'm on a plane to Hilton Head. It took getting hit by a truck at a red light for me to stop and look around and spend time with my parents, doing nothing but taking care of them and walking and thinking, in order for me to stop and say, I need to take care of my own cupboards. I need to take care of my own things. There's nobody around here that needs anything. They're all fine. I needed that. And then to make matters even more, if I didn't get the first anvil on the head, you know, Acme, it was, oh yeah, by the way, we're closing the salon. You all hair and makeup touching appointments have to be stopped. Stop. Have to. So that being said, with, you know, as my position here on the planet at this time, you asked about what we can do. Well, one of the things I think that everybody is being forced to do or has decided to do is to actually literally look at ourselves in the mirror in every kind of way and say, hey, I guess I don't need those hair extensions now because they're half out. Hey, I guess I don't need my nails done because they're going to fall off. All right. And oh, by the way, I don't have any lashes left because I've been wearing fake lashes for 2 years. So what are we going to do about that? We're going to take our authentic selves, as you would say, and enjoy it. We're going to take our authentic selves and enjoy it and take care of ourselves. If our hands are raw from cleaning, you can use, a botanical product. We have this here. If your eyelashes have fallen out, well then let them breathe for a little while. Change up your look. But do get up. Do have a shower. Get out of your pajamas. Take a walk. Put some lipstick on or whatever it is that makes you happy. Put on moisturizer. Do the things that are nice and feel good for you, because those are part of our routine that are part of self-care. As I think we've moved away from the 4-inch nails and the hair extensions and the teeth, and then I've moved into, let's just try to go forward with what we have and take care of ourselves while we're taking care of others. So this skincare and makeup line that I'm working with Bruno Racine on is kind of pared down. It is that, it's botanical and all that jazz, and it's simple, and it's gender fluid. So it's simple. That's it.
And it's beautiful. I have to say, everything you recommended I try. I'm loving it, and I'm ready to order some more. So I'll get on that. But to your point about, doing something that makes you feel good, that's really what it's all about. It could just be putting on a bit of lipstick before you go out for your walk, just because you want to feel a little bit better. It's not, and the word that came to mind, I did this thing yesterday called happy hour. I'm going to do another one. Well, I'll keep doing them every week if people are enjoying it. But the topic I'm going to talk about next week is savoring, because that is something, we don't do very often. And I know you just described a lifestyle that doesn't have room for savoring. Just savoring time, savoring, your beautiful hands, that you have them, that they work. It's awesome. So I think it's really important right now to just shift our focus a little bit, maybe away from, you said, I was relieved to hear you say a little while ago that we're getting away from those big eyebrows.
Oh, yes.
The
Okay.
Kardashian style eyebrows. And we're moving to more kind of natural-ish. Well, look at what happened.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's an interesting time. I mean, beauty, just, we need art, we need beauty, we need music. It's our culture, it's our history, and it's always interesting and fascinating, but it needs to evolve, and always it has to change. Otherwise it's static. And then you're basically looking at a picture above a sofa at Howard Johnson's hotel or something. It's not fluid. Things have to be fluid. And in our life right now, we've been forced to make a change. So here we are. We're if you were looking at people, we were so focused on bigger lashes and bigger lips and higher cheekbones and everything else that was unnatural, instead of saying, well, hey, that's nice for him or her, but that's not me. What do I have?
Yeah.
And it's not the most important thing that you have the biggest eyes or the biggest anything. It's the most important thing that you're happy and you're thinking good thoughts and you're extending yourself and your energy to others around you, because then what's happening? You're smiling. And when you smile, the whole world smiles.
That's beautiful. I mean, it's beautiful. And something, this is one of the great lessons that you teach every person you touch when you consult with them on makeup and take care of them in your chair, is that it's about you and your expression, not about anybody else's expression. And you really help wake us up to ourselves. It sounds funny in a way, but it really is the gift that you bring to everything you do. It's just allowing people to be their best and to look their best. So I just love you, and I love the things that you're creating, and the product line is beautiful. Now, at this time, are we still able to access the product line, it's called Loft by LA, right?
Bruno, it was kind of, as you said, it kind of happened really quickly, and then we were trying we had a website, but it was a little bit incomplete. So hopefully by the end of the day, we'll have a live website up. I have the address, and you can order via Shopify, and its delivery is free if there's $75 or more. We also have like curbside delivery, just like your food, sort of thing. And then I think Bruno's also offering a root touch-up uh, thing for his clients, or if you're not clients, some sort of a consultation to help people through this difficult root situation that we're going through. If a journalist makes a joke about it, I'm just like, oh, there's not enough that root spray in my makeup. I'm like, no, put more, you know. So I think we're just going to have to live with seeing our TV people not quite perfect, because oh wait, they're just more like us, right? So like the non-TV people like myself. Yes, so we do have delivery, and you can order, and the prices are quite competitive. Also, as you know, Bruno has always has a charitable aspect to all of his projects, and the one that he's picked is mental health for all. So portion of all of these sales of whatever sales there are right now, because there's no services, I'll go partially towards mental health, which is everybody's concern now in these uncertain times.
For sure, for sure. So I'll get that link from you, and I'll put it in the top of this post so people can check out the website and order whatever they need. Leslie Anne, I just love you. Thank you very much. Take good care of yourself at this time of semi-pause, at least for you.
Thank you so much, Kathie, and to you and Kensel and your little kitties.
Thanks a lot.